The Los Angeles Dodgers have just signed superstar Shohei Ohtani for a record-breaking $700 million. Yes, you heard me right. Over the course of the next 10 years, Shohei Ohtani will be receiving $700 million from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And to put that into perspective for you, the second biggest contract in MLB history was to his former teammate Mike Trout, who is currently in the middle of a 12-year deal worth $426 million. Shohei nearly doubled that amount with less years on his contract. Why is he getting this much money? Because he is the best player baseball has seen since Mike Trout. Shohei can do it all except reach the postseason. And I'll talk more about Shohei Ohtani's time with the Los Angeles Angels later on in this video. But for right now, I really want to focus on him just signing with the Dodgers. And once news broke he was going to be signing with the Dodgers, he had a statement prepared that essentially read, "To all the fans and everyone involved in the baseball world, I apologize for taking so long to come to a decision. I have decided to choose the Dodgers as my next team." And the last thing Ohtani needs to do here is apologize to anyone, because throughout his whole signing process, there has been a lot of hate coming his way, especially from mainstream sports media, hating the way that Ohtani had been dealing with free agency. He wanted to keep a really tight lid on where he was going to sign and was really aggressive towards the teams when it came to not leaking the fact that they were even going to have a meeting with him. Okay, he was very strict about his privacy, and it's very understandable, and I think it's absolutely disgusting the way mainstream media decided to drag this man for the way he handled his business. And the worst part about this for Shohei Ohtani was that it felt like no matter what he did, the media was going to find a way to paint this man in a bad light. Hell, if we turn the clock back a little over a decade ago, they did almost the exact same thing to a man by the name of LeBron James. However, instead of taking the Shohei Ohtani approach, LeBron James decided to make this a very big deal. He made it super public. Hell, there was even, cameras, and it had its own show. It was called The Decision, that essentially was, LeBron James announcing what team is going to play for next. And the media saw this as him being very self-centered, very egotistical, and maybe he was in the moment. But then Ohtani does the exact opposite, and they still find problems with it. Yes, mainstream media is ridiculous when it comes to stuff like this, especially when the athlete involved is someone as talented as Shohei. Hell, social media went into a huge frenzy on Friday, the day before he ended up signing, with rumors coming out left and right. Ohtani was going to be joining the Toronto Blue Jays. The little information people have to go off of is that there was a private jet set to leave Southern California and was bound for Toronto. Off of that little information alone, it caught like wildfire that Ohtani was going to be joining the Toronto Blue Jays. And if I were a Blue Jays fan, I would be absolutely devastated by the real outcome of this, because of course this was just false information from untrustworthy sources who had barely any information to go off of, and yet this was real news reported for about a couple hours the day before Ohtani ended up signing. Yes, people actually believed he was on a flight to Toronto and he would be putting his name on the dotted line saying he was going to be joining the Blue Jays. And when you really think about it, it's kind of crazy. No way he goes all the way to Toronto. This man is from Japan. He would prefer to stay on the West Coast, the closest area in the United States to Japan. Anyway, he ended up signing with the Dodgers, and after all of that happened, Ohtani wanted to speak a little bit on his time with the Angels, where he basically dropped a quote that spoke, "I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone involved with the Angels organization and the fans who have supported me for over the past 6 years, as well as to everyone involved with each team that was part of this negotiation process, especially to the Angels who supported me through all the ups and downs." And this guy had a lot of ups and downs. I mean, he has been dealing with injuries since he's reached the majors. He could have been doing so much more with the Angels had he not been, getting hurt all the time. And yet, even with these injuries holding him back, Ohtani has been able to win not one, but 2 MVPs. Hell, he just won one this season. That's how great this man is. But anyway, he would go on to finish this with, "The 6 years I spent with the Angels will remain etched in my heart forever." That's basically saying he appreciates the time he spent with the Angels, and it's time for a new chapter in his life. But if we're being real, Ohtani didn't accomplish what he wanted to with Los Angeles, which is why he decided to move on. And the reason the Angels didn't trade him sooner was because they felt like not only did they have a chance at re-signing him, but that no matter who he was traded for, it was not going to be the same value that, it was worth giving him up for. Especially since they felt like at the time of the deadline last season, they had a chance to reach the playoffs, which they did have a real possibility of making at the time. But as per usual, the Angels kind of just dipped off towards the end of the season. And that wasn't entirely Ohtani's fault. Yes, he did get injured and was not able to pitch most of the second half. However, he was still able to, swing the bat, be their DH, lead their offense, which he essentially had to carry for most of the season. Hell, he's had to carry them for the past 6 years. And now that we're talking about the Angels, I think it's time to bring up his numbers over those 6 years. With the Angels, he averaged around 274 batting average, on base percentage 366, slugging percentage 556. However, all of the numbers for the 2023 season are much higher than his averages over those past 6 years. And honestly, his last 3 seasons have been his best batting wise. It's really, giving him time to develop. He's hit his stride and he's in his prime right now. 2021 MVP season, 2022 All-Star season, Cy Young, top 4, second in MVP voting. Hell, he could have had a three-peat had it not been for Aaron Judge disrupting him in that middle one in 2022. And the only reason Aaron Judge won an MVP over Shohei was because of the amount of home runs that Aaron Judge hit that season. I'm pretty sure he hit around 60 home runs, breaking the American League record. So of course they're going to give him the MVP. But Ohtani was this close to having a three-peat. And honestly, with the Dodgers, he could easily win one in the National League. No one is more excited than me to see all of the success that Shohei Ohtani will bring to this Dodgers organization. And I won't really go into his pitching numbers in this video just because he isn't planning to pitch in the upcoming season. He's still dealing with that injury that he, suffered on the Los Angeles Angels. However, it is not totally out of the cards. Once Ohtani is healthy enough, he will resume pitching. He wants to be a two-way player for the rest of his career, and the Dodgers are paying him to be a two-way player. They want him to be two separate guys, one on the mound and one at the batter's plate. That is why his salary is double anyone else in baseball. Yes, you heard me, double that. That's why he's getting $700 million over the next 10 years. And speaking of other players in baseball, let's take a quick look at his teammates. I know this video is almost wrapping up, but come on. Let's give a little love to Mookie Betts, who can do it all. The middle infielder, you've seen his podcast. You know what he looks like. I'm pretty sure he's won a World Series before. If not with the Dodgers, he won one for sure with the Boston Red Sox. And then you've got the legendary first baseman, Freddie Freeman himself. He won one in Atlanta. Then he himself signed a contract with the Dodgers. They've just been throwing money left and right to build this super team. And honestly, this team is so talented, no one can get in their way but injuries. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Just wanted to recap the Ohtani trade, what I thought about it, why he was moved. Catch y'all later. Much love. Deuces.